They're not, but
So if they're not on here.
gotcha.
Most of them are.
Yeah, it's not.
You know, I don't know.
Sure.
Everyone who's.
Yeah,
So,
if
if
they say that,
you sign the
I'll
sign in
find
sheet.
it, but in case there's
Thank you.
unequal
Sure.
outliers, that's always
I
appreciated.
appreciate it.
Member is gonna be saying and member
I
Charlie.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
There's still muted, so someone's.
Still muted. I'm talking.
Yes. Thank you. I'll write it down.
Jones, okay.
See, that's why.
It's okay, we got the time so that I can make sure that it's right.
I frequently had people ask me for translation.
Can you hear me in Springfield? Morning.
I think we're muted.
It's walk out. Yeah, unmute Springfield.
They have the controls down there, so we can't do it up here. Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Oh, okay. I'll put it down further. I'm like, it's fine. No worries.
That's
Oh, we're gonna begin as soon as Turk.
Jack said he's pulling into a parking garage now.
So don't care. Are they unmuted in Springfield? Can you hear me in Springfield? Good morning. We can't hear you.
Can hear you.
Okay, Madam Vice Chair, Member Brett is in the parking lot. So he is on his way. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today, January 17th, 2024. Time is now what? Time is now approximately 9:50 AM. And I would like to call the meeting of the State Board of Elections to order. At this time, could we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Ballarcroft,
Present?
Ms. Craig,
Present.
Ms. Genovese,
Here.
Ms. McCory.
Here.
Mr. Turbin,
Here.
Mr. Brett,
Here.
Vice Chair Donahue,
Present.
Chair Watson.
Present. Is there a motion to recess the State Board of Elections and reconvene as the State Officers Electoral Board?
So moved. Second?
Roll call.
Ms. Ballarcroft,
Yes.
Ms. Craig,
Yes.
Genovese, Ms. McCory,
Yes.
Mr. Turbin,
Here.
Mr. Brett,
Yes.
Vice Chair Donahue,
Yes.
Chair Watson.
Present. Manager of Council. Next on the agenda is to call the cases and accept appearances and objections to the established party presidential preference and delegate candidate nominating petitions for the March 19th, 2024 general primary election.
Thank you, Chair Watson. I'd like to thank everyone for being here this morning. I'm Marnie Malowitz, General Counsel to the Board. In a few moments, I'll be calling the cases and accepting appearances for objections to nominating petitions for candidates for President of the United States, seeking placement on the ballot for Illinois' March 2024 general primary election. Under the Election Code, when an objection is filed to a candidate's nomination papers for president or presidential delegate, then the State Officers Electoral Board convenes to rule on the objection. Our goal is to ensure that both objectors and candidates are given an opportunity to be heard regarding the legal sufficiency of the candidate's nomination papers. It's crucial that the parties stay on top of all the dates and deadlines in their cases to ensure a speedy ruling at the board's January 30th meeting. If you're a candidate or an objector and you are not represented by an attorney, please make sure you complete an appearance form today, supplying your email address and telephone number so you can be contacted about events in your case. If multiple individuals are listed as objectors in one case and they are not represented by an attorney, a separate appearance form for each objector is required, and each objector must attend all hearings before the board and the assigned hearing officer. No substantive argument regarding the objections will be held today. After I finish calling your case and I've moved on to the next case, you can exit this meeting, and if you're in Springfield, board staff will help direct you to the correct room. Or if you're in Chicago, please head downstairs to the board's Chicago office in the basement of this building, suite LL08, which is in the corner across from the Subway sandwich shop, to meet with your hearing officer. Your hearing officer will help you understand the electoral board process and discuss important deadlines in your case. The electoral board proceedings will be conducted according to the rules of procedure, which the board will be considering and adopting today after the call of the cases. Please ensure you read these rules in great detail as soon as you receive them, as they contain time-sensitive deadlines in your case. Most urgently, the deadline to file motions to dismiss, motions for summary judgment, and requests to issue subpoenas is this Friday, January 19th. In some cases, if an objection challenges numerous individual signatures to a candidate's petition sheets, a records examination may be scheduled, at which board staff will review the objection, look up the voter who signed the petition in the Illinois voter registration database, and determine whether the objection should be sustained or overruled. Records examinations will take place in the board's Springfield office where most of the board's staff works. Each side will be entitled to 1 watcher per records examiner terminal. The number of staff members anticipated to conduct your record exam will appear on your records exam schedule. And records examinations will begin this Friday, January 19th. Please ensure you check the board's website often in case any last-minute changes are made to the date, time, or location of a records exam. Parties can then file a motion pursuant to Rule 9 of the Rules of Procedure to challenge the board staff's determination on whether an individual signature objection should be sustained or overruled. Again, I encourage everyone to carefully read the Rules of Procedure, and any questions regarding the rules or process should be directed to your assigned hearing officer. The cases called today will be ruled upon by the board on January 30th. Objectors who do not appear in person or by their attorney on the 30th, or to any other hearing scheduled by their hearing officer, may have their objection petition dismissed. Thank you all for being here and participating in this important process. And with that, I will begin calling the cases. The first matter, agenda item 2A, case 2024 SOEB GP 118, Smith and Conrad versus Biden. I believe we have parties present on behalf of objectors. Both Smith and Conrad are in Springfield.
Yes.
And on behalf of candidate Biden, we have James Morphew and Kevin Morphew.
Present.
Great, thank you, and you can proceed outside of the conference room down there to meet with your hearing officer. The next matter, agenda item 2B, Bouvet, Conrad, Newsom, and Hubbard versus Biden. We have appearances on file for all of the objectors, Bouvet, Conrad, Newsom, and Hubbard. And they are present in Springfield, correct?
Yes.
And on behalf of candidate Biden, we again have James Morphew and Kevin Morphew.
Present.
Moving on to agenda item 2C. This is case 2024 SOEB GP 517, Anderson, Holly, Hickman versus Trump. I have several attorney appearances on file for this case. Karen C. Lederer, Matthew J. Piers, Margaret E. Truesdale, Justin M. Tresnowski, and Ed Mullen. Is everyone present in Springfield?
All present,
Or
yeah.
in Chicago?
Right, yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Thank you. And were there any other appearances on behalf of objectors? Okay, and on behalf of the candidate, I have appearances by Adam Merrill and Mark Shaw.
Morning, Adam Merrill on behalf of the candidate, Trump.
Great, thank you. Agenda item 2D, 2024 SOEB GP 518 through 521. So that's agenda items 2D through 2G. These objections have been withdrawn. So we will not rule on them today because they didn't make it onto the agenda. We will rule on them on the 30th. However, we do not need to assign out these cases today because they've already been withdrawn.
Did you say D and E, Madam John?
Sorry about that. D, E, F, G. So 5, 18, 19, 20, 21 have all been withdrawn.
Thank you.
No problem. Next case, agenda item 2H, 2024 SOEB GP 522. Jones, Johansson, Sutherland, Johnson, and Smith versus Biden. I have an appearance from Mr. Jones on behalf of objectors. Oh, sir, are you an attorney?
No.
Okay, all right, in that case, so I have your appearance. Is anyone here on behalf of objector Johansson?
He's part of our team.
Okay, he'll have to appear himself. if he's not represented by an attorney. And Sutherland, Johnson, and Smith, are any of those individuals present?
Excuse me. I was designated the spokesman for those other individuals because they're all over that dumb state.
Under our rules of procedure, anyone who is not represented by an attorney must appear themselves.
So what happens if they don't show up?
But let's address this after the meeting, sir. Thank you.
Excuse me?
Let's address this after the meeting. And on behalf of the candidate, we have James Morphew and Kevin Morphew. And finally, agenda item 2I, 2024 SOEB GP 523, Meyer versus Haley. We had an appearance on file for objector Meyer by Trent Cornell, but I believe that appearance was withdrawn. So is anyone here on behalf of objector Meyer?
None down here, ma'am.
Candidate Haley, I have an appearance by Lewis at Sabes. I apologize for my pronunciation.
Shockingly, you pronounced it correctly.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much.
It may be a one-time only occurrence, but I was glad to hear that I did it.
Your chance.
You made my day, Your Honor.
So anyways, those are our cases. So anyone who is a party to those cases or represents a party to those cases, if you are in Chicago, please proceed downstairs to the basement, Suite LL across from Subway. And if you are in Springfield, just head outside of the conference room and staff will direct you to the right place so that you can meet with your hearing officer.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Yes, Madam Vice Chair.
Marnie, what was the disposition of 523? There was a no-show for the objector, but the attorney was there for Haley, for the candidate?
Correct.
See downstairs, or do I just get my coat? Okay, thank you.
And that is it for me from this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the rules of procedure for the state officers electoral board?
If I may, there are two small corrections to the rules that need to be made.
Proceed, Madam General Counsel.
In the definition section, ID, it should read Wednesday, not January 17th, rather than Thursday, January 11th, because January 11th has already passed. And in the expedited proceedings section, 1D, give me 1 second, please.
Okay. Number 2, well, number 9.
Yes, on page 9 of the packet. 1D should read Wednesday instead of Tuesday for January 17th.
And what was the first correction, please?
The first correction is on the very first page, so page 8 of your packet. Under the definition ID for initial meeting, it should mean the board's first meeting scheduled for Wednesday, January 17th, 2024, held to call the cases for the current electoral board cycle.
How could I forget that, huh?
Is there a motion to approve the amended rules of procedure for the state officers electoral board?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Croft?
Yes.
Ms. Craig?
Yes.
Mr. Nevesi?
Yes.
Ms. McCory? Ms. McCory?
Yes.
Mr. Turbin?
Yes.
Mr. Brett?
Yes.
Vice Chair Donahue?
Yes.
Chair Watson?
Present. Is there a motion?
Motion.
General Counsel, I'm sorry, was there a question? Is there a motion to authorize the general counsel to appoint hearing officers as required?
Second.
Roll call please.
Ms. Ballard Croft? Ms. Ballard Croft?
Yes.
Ms. Craig?
Yes.
Genovese?
Yes.
Ms. McCrory?
Yes.
Mr. Turbin?
Yes.
Mr. Brett?
Yes.
Vice Chair Donahue?
Yes.
Chair Watson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Anything else, Madam General Counsel?
Not for me, thank you.
Madam Executive Director, anything else?
Nothing for me.
Madam Vice Chair, anything else?
Madam Chair?
Nothing else, Madam Vice Chair?
No.
Is there a motion to recess the State Officers Electoral Board and reconvene as the State Board of Elections?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Ballard Croft?
Yes.
Ms. Craig?
Yes.
Genovese?
Yes.
Ms. McCrory? Ms. McCrory?
Yes.
Mr. Turbin?
Yes.
Mr. Brett?
Yes.
Vice Chair Donahue?
Yes.
Chair Watson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there any other business? That will be next on our agenda. Any other business, Vice Chair?
No, Madam Chair.
The next order of business are comments from the general public. We do have a request to address the board in public comment. Ms. Lorraine Wallace, are you here, please?
Lorraine Lawrence, yes.
Lorraine Wallace.
Lawrence.
Lawrence. I'm terribly sorry.
No.
Where's the court reporter? Larannne Lawrence, Lawrence. Miss Lawrence, would you please proceed?
Yes. The purpose that I came down here for, you should stand at least under that green light, that's the
Microphone.
microphone. Right, there you go. Okay, thank you. The purpose that I came down here for is because of the issues that were to be addressed today with the voting and how it impacts a lot of us citizens from both perspectives. I know there's cases that are going against Trump to be off the ballot and also as well as Biden to be off the ballot. But this is where I feel, and many of our citizens feel, that it is an infringement on our civil rights, basically citizens' rights and suppression of freedom of speech for the First Amendment as well as the 15th Amendment. And I understand that there is going to be a vote taken on, I believe, January 30th or so forth. And I just wanted to bring some of the things before you all, just so that before you make your decision on removing any of the presidents off of the ballot, that we just feel, many of us citizens feel that if you start doing that, then that set a precedence for being able to go against anyone who has a dislike for anyone who is running for a position in the government. And some of the things that I wanted to bring up as well is I want to go back to voting rights. And also from the point in time where we'll talk about the 15th Amendment, the right to vote, and based on race, color, or previous condition of servitude. And if we have a particular person that is running for a position and that is removed from them, then that feels like that takes away our voice as well for freedom of speech. And I want to go back to where the Library of Congress has spoken about this and had this documented, that as of the House of Representatives, there were 144 Republicans that voted to approve the 15th Amendment, with 0 Democrats that did not approve that amendment. Also with the Senate, 33 Republicans that did against 0 Democrats that didn't. And we know that Chicago is primarily a Democratic city. But we also have the whole state of Illinois that is dependent upon Chicago as well, that makes those decisions of what this state is going to do in regards to our voting rights and whom is going to potentially be presidential in office. Also, another thing about that is with Trump being disqualified, there's potentially a mass ballot purge where this can now go to the US House. So we don't want the House making a decision on our rights. We want the citizens to be able to make a decision on our rights. So therefore, that's what I'm coming down here to speak about. And I'm just gonna not go through everything that I have here, but some sources that I have gotten information from being DW, NPR, Newsweek, in regards to inciting insurrection is not a treason. And MSN judge that had ruled that the state insurrection, but can't be disqualified from the 2024 ballot per the Colorado judge, even though he feels that Trump did some insurrection, but cannot be disqualified. Financial Times, NBC News, CNBC, acquitted by Senate in second impeachment trial. So when I go to talk about Trump and these incitements and insurrections, I also wanted to go back to where it spoke about the representatives in Congress for the third section of the 14th Amendment. And in that section, when I went to the Congress page, it says no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of the president and vice president. So as many of these stories that are going around the United States that President Trump was doing an insurrection and incitement and so forth, I just needed to make sure that I'm clear on this third section that a lot of these cases are basing it on, that it says the elector of the president and vice president, not so much that it is the president that can be removed from the ballot based upon this Amendment 14 and Section 3. So much of this as well, I have pulled from the article of The Hill that spoke more on the political aspect of this. In regards to also 18 U.S. Code 2383 for rebellion or insurrection of the states. And Trump was not actually accused of this in any of the cases of rebellion or insurrection of Title 18 USC 238. So I just wanted to bring that before you all, just before you make your decisions on the 30th, that we as citizens and many of us that spoke about this want to be able to make that right and judgment on who we believe that is best for us and not have any of the candidates removed and may be based upon the citizens, so forth. And that's all that I had.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Lawrence. We appreciate you making your general comments.
Thank you.
Any other business, Madam Executive Director, Madam General Counsel? Anything more, Madam Vice Chair in Springfield?
No, Madam Chair.
Is there a motion to adjourn until January 30th, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. or until the call of the chair, whichever occurs first?
So moved.
Roll call. Roll call, please.
Ms. Ballard Croft,
Yes.
Ms. Craig,
Yes.
Ms. Genovese? Yes. Ms. McCrory,
Yes.
Mr. Turbin?
Yes.
Mr. Brett?
Yes.
Vice Chair Donahue?
Yes.
Chair Watson?
Yes.
Passes.
The State Board of Elections is hereby adjourned until January 30th, 2024 at 9:30